now.
Ooh.
Yes.
Awesome.
I
So
will.
why shouldn't we just introduce ourselves first, perhaps?
Cool. Should I start? Maybe let me start then. Yeah. Hi, I'm Ferret, 31, 32 years old. I'm from Berlin, Germany, working for a company called Zalando. Some might know, some not. Yeah, I'm just there, software engineer, mainly front end these days. And because I met a lot of people, I kind of am now helping somehow with Webpack CLI. So yeah, hi again.
Cool.
Go ahead, Ivan.
All right. So I'm Evan. I'm currently studying at the Art University of Norway, which is in Tromsø. I've been with Webpack CLI for 3 or 4 years, I think, and been working on refactoring CLI, making it better for the ecosystem of Webpack in general. And yeah, I'm quite a boring person, so yeah. And I work at Telia, which is a ISP provider company, and I do various stuff on front end there and also back end after Christmas. So yeah, that's it.
Great. Hey guys, this is Sandil here, and I'm in Netherlands currently. I'm working at a company called Zebra Labs. I generally love open source. I'm doing a lot of open source stuff. I'm happy to be joining the Webpack CLI team and happy to be there. I'm not contributing that much, but I'll try to increase my contribution there. But apart from that, yeah, I love it, and I'm doing open source.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, with open source, it's always like up and down.
Yep.
Sometimes you have more, sometimes you have less time
Yep.
to contribute. Anyway, should we just start then with the agenda immediately, or do you want to do like some kind of summary first, Evan?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay, so how should I do this? All right, so this year we have planned to refactor the CLI to make it better for the zero configuration JS story we have, and also that we're trying to make the compiler or the Webpack CLI in the browser for new users to start off with Webpack easier. And Emmanuel has primarily worked with this. It's called Webpack UI, and it allows people to better start off with Webpack through the browser and kickstarting a project. And our plan for Webpack UI is to get the Webpack scaffold story, which you can generate Webpack configurations without having to do it yourself, and try to integrate that into the Webpack UI platform to make Webpack UI better, customizable, flexible, and better for new users. And that's basically what we're trying to do this year. And I know that Emmanuel has a better status update on the UI, but I'll try to keep you updated on that. I can actually share my screen. Just hold on.
Sure.
Great. So I think that you can see it.
Yeah.
So let's start with the prototype or the design for it. And we have some issues here that Emmanuel has created and I've created. I think that this is the issue. Yeah. All right. Down further here, it should be design or not. Let's see. So kind of a lot of issues here. Here it is. So this is the prototype of the UI, the initial prototype. And what we're trying to do here is to make users more known with Webpack just by creating a new project and assuming that they have everything set up to make development easier and quicker. And in this section, they can create new project based on a default project that we're going to set up, or they can use a scaffold, which is the Webpack scaffold platform. They can also import or open an existing project, which basically would import a Webpack configuration and display various options to the user. They can also change projects. And this is the part that where people are awaiting feedback. And this is where we would discuss how it should look like, because this is just a bare prototype. So my thoughts around this is that we have a menu here, which would include things like a compilation dashboard, a walkthrough of the waterfall pattern or the REPL pattern by Google, and various of other things that would help the user have easier time with Webpack. And that's one of the things that this guy who has created the design wants feedback on, but he couldn't make it today because he has exams this month, which is completely understandable. So basically we have to narrow that down for him, if everybody's okay with that.
Yeah. You shared it also like on Twitter. I saw it, and I think like 2-3 weeks ago also Emmanuel, he explained this a bit to me. I mean the idea makes totally sense. Would be super interesting for me. I also talked already with Emmanuel. Once I have time again, which hopefully will be soon in December, because now holiday season starts and people are getting a bit more like slowly into holiday mood. So yeah, I will hopefully have more time on this to maybe help Emmanuel.
Yeah, I can see that. And also this kind of project is based on the Vue UI feature or the flag that Vue has already. So this is not a new feature that we're inventing. We are just making sure that this is added to Webpack as well, because it's a lot easier for users to navigate the graphical user interface than CLI sometimes.
Yeah, agreed.
So I don't know, should we start with the Webpack UI status update? I just gave one.
Sure. I mean, you already gave one, right?
Yeah. So yeah, let's just continue down that road.
Yeah.
Yep. But even do we have, apart from like finalizing or putting down this design, do we have anything else to be decided on Webpack CLI UI, or is that basically it? Or do we have any other different functionalities to be taken care of?
Yeah, I think that this is the point where MNL would speak up, but he's not here, so I'll do it. So what I was thinking was that while providing a easy configuration, zero configuration story for users, we should also be able to educate them and to make them understand Webpack in an interactive way.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of platform would include some features that would make it easier for them to understand that. So I'll actually just hold on a second. I'll show you something. All right, so I'll have to share my screen again. So this is one thing one of my coworkers have worked on, and this is basically what we're trying to do in some context with Webpack UI, and it's to automatically generate configurations for the user. And this would allow, like, okay, if you want to add React, it would automatically add React to the configuration, and in an interactive way, they can see where it's configured. And also things like this, and maybe some walkthroughs of what an entry point is, what the output is, and all those kind of stuff that we can bake into the UI framework would be good, because that allows us to because we have to. I'm thinking that we should basically try to think that the user is not familiar with Webpack at all. So we assume that they're
Okay.
beginners. So we make it easier for ourselves. Yeah.
So for the first cut, or at least for the next few months, what we're targeting to do is like make it easier for people to go forward to it. And it's like basic UI rather than going in depth detail towards it. It's just like basic UI. You can create configurations out of it, and you will get to know what are the things that happen inside. So that's what we're targeting for now, right?
Yeah, and also kind of make it easier than this tool. Just say that, okay, if you click React, you should have it included, and we just compile in the browser for them. And they can just go to the URL and view their app being compiled. We don't have to show them the configuration yet. We can perhaps make it a section which requires them to click it to view the configuration output. But try to hide the configuration file as much as possible, because this is a beginner first platform in my eyes. So they don't have to see the actual configuration file. We can provide them with an option to export it and to view it, or to click on a button to see it in the browser. But we should try to hide it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Just a question. And how would then like the user flow? I mean, I think from the idea perspective, maybe having a session with Emmanuel, with you, also just thinking how the user flow would really look like. From the front-end perspective, it will really help. Like having maybe just pen and paper, someone sketches, or just, I don't know, some online tool where we can just sketch, because I think we really need to understand the user flow, because then things, I think, will be just easier. Even if we don't have all the UI, UX, we can just mock something or use, I don't know, if we want material UI and then just come up with something else. I think once we are more like clear on the user flow and document this, it would really help, because then the question for me currently is, okay, people can click, and so what should they be able next? Imagine they have a React application with, I don't know, whatever, and then they have a Webpack config for all of it with table and whatever, everything is configured, so they can start doing their front-end project, for example. And then should we just output something to them, or should they have something like, I don't know, like some simple code sandbox where they can even start coding their React application just inside something? Like,
yeah,
where
that
is the
would be nice. But yeah, let me just show an example. I'm gonna share my screen again. Sorry. All right.
It's fine.
So okay, so we assume that this is the Webpack dashboard, Google Hangouts. So this is where everything is. This is the dashboard. You can import, like you see in the design, and on these small buttons or the sidebar, we can, for instance, okay, you wanna view the configuration file. Okay, click here. Okay, do you want to walk through to how your chunks are included? Okay, click here. And these features should go here, and we don't have to do that gradually. So we start off with a simple bare bone, and they all already have a pull request with Preact included for the basic server. And I'm thinking that we maybe should just like start simple and then just add features gradually, because then we can scale good next year as well.
Okay, cool. So then let me just check the agenda. And we are kind of discussing all the things, right? The state is kind of clear. Splitting responsibility, maybe we come to this in a moment. Design proposal feedback. I don't know.
So,
I mean,
I think that we maybe should take this up with Emmanuel through Hangouts sometime, because he has the lead on this project. And regarding the splitting responsibility, I think that Emmanuel has a good overview of the project with some external contributors. So that's all right. And we probably should have some documentation work on the UI, like layered up when it's coming out, etc.
Yeah. I really think, like you said, maybe just having Emmanuel, pinging him again, making it a bit more like smaller group, just he can just update us what the current state is, because I saw there is a lot of stuff.
That's true.
Then it would be maybe easier to not really splitting responsibility, but more like sharing with people, and then people picking up stuff, topics.
True.
And the timeline? So it's
I
like
think,
2019.
So I think that we could sketch out the rough timeline today, actually. So I'm currently working on the refactoring, but it's doing great progress. I think that we should discuss that as well, because I'm planning to remove a lot of features from the current CLI and to make it easier.
Okay.
Okay.
Should we
But
then do this first?
no, let's just take the UI timeline. So we're done with that.
Okay. So I don't know how to plan. I mean, for me, like I said, the thing, like, how would I do the product like this? If I think of a product, then we have some rough designs. I mean, the technology is clear. It's Webpack. We know what's going on with Webpack. We have the knowledge. So it might be, just like I said, maybe if Emmanuel doesn't have it yet, but I'm sure he already has a big vision in his head, maybe already some GitHub issues documented, like just having a clear understanding how the initial first user flow will look like from start to complete end, because then you can easily give people some tasks, front end or Webpack related, back end related, because we need some local server. I don't know if just having some Webpack dev server is enough. It would need more configuration, more fine tuning.
I think that the dev server is actually pretty nice, because we can use multi compilation outputs together with that, or just run a child process with their configuration and just pipe that out to the browser.
Yeah, maybe it's already enough. Side. Yeah, well, then it's already enough. It's even better than we can show the community that just using Webpack dev server, what you can all do. Because I'm just using it for my development environment. I have to admit, just for simpler things. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the current state. It's difficult without Emmanuel. I mean, I would still say we have a design, and we should maybe, because who was it? The contributor? I don't have his name.
It's a guy from India.
Yeah. If his exams are done, maybe like before Christmas, having first clear user flow with designs. So just not the first screen, but maybe like 3 to 5 screens, I could imagine. So we can discuss this, and once it's decided and fine, like you said, finalized, then I mean that would be like my initial timeline. Having the designs, a first rough design flow done, without like, I mean, independently from coding, which Emmanuel maybe does, other stuff. Because then out of this, the next timeline would be much easier. Like, okay, January.
A question, sorry.
Yeah, sure.
So by means of timeline, do we say like it's a timeline? Do we have any constraints or any length of the timeline? This year or the next year or next 3 months, 4 months?
Well, I think that we should try to narrow this down to before the summer of 2019. And that's when the project at the overview level should be done, but not all features. So I was thinking that we already have the base structure of the UI framework up. We have the servers and the client side up. And what we're missing is the designs and the user flow. So we should try to get some designers some days that would like to work on open source, and together with Emmanuel, we can figure out user flows.
Yeah. So for me, that sounds more like, as I said, maybe it makes sense to really say, okay, before Christmas, because I don't want anyone to be forced to do on Christmas or after, like in between New Year and Christmas, some open source work.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe before Christmas, having another session to just go through the designs for basic user flow. This could be asynchronous on GitHub, or even like I said, maybe really 2 hours planned, and then we can just go on Hangout for the proposals and then make a final decision, and then we are fine. Because as I understand Evan correctly, most of the basic work is done. Like the setup is clear, architecture is clear. It's more like, let's make the front end, right?
That's right, yeah. And I think that we should perhaps sit down and have a meeting after the CLI refactoring is done, and after we have seen that the pull request to merge the infrastructure for UI has been merged, because then we have the infrastructure and project up and running. We just have to figure out how to make this good for the user, basically.
Agree? Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, I mean, with timelines, as I said, I think it's already good. I will just make a comment. So we should aim.
Infrastructure, yeah, this is correct. And infrastructure in end of Christmas.
Yeah, I just aim for them to say maybe, I don't know, like a first functional, I don't know, let's call it beta release. I mean, people will use it and they will break it and we will have bugs and whatever. But it's functioning. We have some use cases. People can use it, get more feedback. And like I said, infrastructure should be done at the end of 2018. If we are good and fast, like because of everyone, with the designer. And yeah.
You can ask someone on Zalando if they want to help out.
Yeah, I'm also currently thinking if I should ping one of our UX people, maybe someone has interest.
That would be nice.
Yeah, let me do this. Because maybe I can get them to some kind of have it as their own growth path, do some open source, and then open design is always nice. Yeah, let me try this. I will make a comment. Because I personally think, like I said, if infrastructure is kind of near to an end, it's really, I don't even think we will need 6 months for the front end. But as I said, I don't know.
It's a rough estimate because it's open source, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's open source. It's a lot of uncertainty, and I don't know exactly what we will discuss as like the first feature set, because based on that, like if you say these are the 6 features we really want for before summer, this still could be a lot of work or just easy.
I think that the first features would be the dashboard, compilation output, and perhaps explanation of the entry points, outputs, options, etc. That's a nice initial draft.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, just to have those few features, and of course create an update and that is added to it. I think that makes sense, unless we want to complicate ourselves. I think that we should go with that 4 or 5 features. That's it.
Great.
Yeah.
What was it again? Like one would be like dashboard, the second one would be like output of like what we have in the Webpack, basically the CLI output kind of in the front end.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that the UI output is not going to be equal the CLI output. So for the UI output, we might have perhaps a row with check icons and with errors with a cross icon telling them that this is bad, you have a warning, etc. We would have to customize that because it's a front end, it's not development.
Yep.
And you can also comment to pings or like to keep in mind that Tobias is going to refactor the stats module, which is responsible for the CLI or Webpack compilation output, which should be good for us. So if we have any input on what we want to output in the CLI, we can send that further down to, or up in this case, to Tobias, and he will take it into account, hopefully.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay. Wow. I would just say from the Webpack UI perspective, it's, for me at least, more clear now. I don't know if anyone has something to say or.
Yeah, I can actually show you.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Let's share the screen again. I don't know if I can actually open view UI. Let me check. So what I'm thinking is that we should go to the UI feature of view. Oh, it's here. Awesome. Let me share the screen. Here we go. So this is supposed to be view UI. But yeah, you can just do stuff here. This is not what I'm looking for, actually. Oh God. All right, here it is. So here, this kind of stuff is it's relevant for us, and we should grasp input from you and also the Webpack Electron dashboard or something like that, created by Ken Wheeler. If you have heard of that.
Yeah. Okay.
So just go to other sources, see what they're doing. You don't have to do everything new if you don't have to.
Yeah, sure. Yo, noted. From that perspective.
All right, great.
So, cool.
Should we just move on?
Yeah, please. Let's spend maybe.
Great. So I guess this is my domain. So
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the status of Webpack CLI refactoring. Oh, right, yeah. So I could share my screen again because it's the best thing to do. Right. It's a lot of failing tests here. Yeah, so it's basically almost done. I'm doing a zero configuration JS experiment after I'm done with the implementation of the new CLI, which consists of a gradual CLI, which you can narrow up and down the options provided by us. So if you're a beginner, you can just choose development and build with a more advanced configuration or a CLI. If you're an intermediate user, you would have more options. And if you're an expert user, you would have a lot of options. Just to see how that scales. If we can like see based on the errors the user is getting, all right, there's too much errors in the console too many times. So let's just make this a lot easier for them. I'm also working on the interactive command. Haven't started on that. The extend option is quite easy. It's now called merge, which basically takes another argument from CLI and which is a configuration file and merges it together with another one. That's not complicated. You could just import Webpack merge. What's missing is to implement the features for the flags. Some features are completed, but I'm currently just looking through what kind of flags we're going to support, because I think that we're kind of making an overkill supporting all flags for the CLI. We should focus on easy flags like production development and force people to use configurations. because the CLI shouldn't be responsible for a lot of fine tuning that should happen inside the configuration file, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, I agree on that.
Yeah, and I think that like this should probably go through a lot of folks before we are like confident that we're going to use this approach. But this is the initial draft of the files. I mean, the flags that we're going to support. So you can like invoke Webpack without the -- option, which is the like the bare minimum or the scaffolding flags. Update, make, serve, generate loader, generate plugin, info, and then interactive. But this is the old CLI, and this is basically every option that we're going to support. And it's not much compared to the old one, but I think that this is sufficient for a CLI to be effective, minimalistic, and expressive. And rather than supporting, say, outputs path, we're just going to say, I think his name, path. It is. So we're just going to say, okay, path, that's the output path, because that's basically all we're going to need from the user to compile a build. So I don't know what you're thinking about this, but I think it's pretty much convenient for us to keep it simple and just to focus on the general user, not the detailed ones. Like, okay, let's let's decide to do split chunking with regexes inside the CLI. That's hardcore, but that's not our use case here.
Yeah, I also think it should be more like for beginners or users who are just maybe once a year touching Webpack, so they should be able to like get help. But it looked much better, like it showed.
Yeah,
looked more clean.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. But yeah, I've posted the issue on several communities, and I'm just like stalling on feedback on that. But I think that this is the final like version that I'm going to do, and now I'm going to implement those flags, and we should stick with that. And if users are angry, like, okay, why did you remove watch interval? Then we're just going to say like, okay, if you want to specify watch interval, then you have to do it through a configuration file, because as like a CLI like this should not be focused on advanced options, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, we lost one. So it's you and me.
Well, yeah, sure.
No, but it's fine. Yeah, I mean, what about? I mean, I got the overview. What about your timeline? Because I think you are mainly working on this, right?
Yeah, I think that I'll be done. Like, let me check dates. Okay, it wasn't actually needed because it's the 1st of December, but
yeah, I mean, no pressure regarding. Just be realistic, maybe, because you also have some other stuff.
Yeah,
according to Twitter.
Yeah, I actually just I finished my exams like 2 weeks ago. And also I'm just I just finished the leftover work that I was doing, so I have free on the weekends now. But I think that a realistic date would be around the 24th of December. That would be realistic, because it's not much to do, but we have to figure out like what to output. That's the major like blockers. Like how are we going to like output a compilation? And that's actually pretty nice as well, because there's a lot of developers that use the holidays to test out things like hobby projects, so we can get feedback if we release before the year's gone.
Yeah, that's right. Cool. Wow. I would like ask for, do you need some help? But from what I hear, it's more like we always need help. But I think that's anyway, like that's something we might need to focus sooner than later regarding getting more support maybe on some topics.
Yeah,
I mean, you're already on a good track, I would say. What like you said, it's just 2-3 stuff checklists missing, and then you're kind of done.
Yeah, and I've been working on this since the start of June this year. So yeah.
So I think like once it's there, like we should just all try to share it, and like that we all have like a more audience sharing with people.
Yeah, so and also
getting more feedback.
I think that we should like release this gracefully, put it in alpha, put it in the beta, make people test it.
Yeah.
Push a release, a request for comments, and then a release.
Yeah, I would even say maybe writing some small kind of blog post about this on Medium for the Webpack part, and then just even sharing it. Like basically what currently like Dan Abramov and the others at React do. They currently do that. I think that's cool what they do, that they already start sharing with people's roadmaps and their vision and ideas, because then people can start early to see, evaluate, give feedback. And I think we should do the same kind of.
That's right. All right. So I think that the refactoring is it's pretty straightforward. I posted an issue regarding what flags we're going to support. I'm experimenting with how we're going to output the new CLI. And it's not going to be that verbose as the current CLI is, because on large builds, you output a lot of trash files, and you don't have a great overview of what is what, basically. You get like all these kinds of names and assets and chunks, their sizes, and I think that the user, that like the initial user or the like regular front-end developer would just like to see, okay, this is my entry point. This is where my app is going to be loaded first. And okay, that's another entry point. We're using chunk splitting, and that's it really. And perhaps the size of the chunk.
Yep. Agreed. There isn't much to say. It's basically how many people are currently like using Webpack.
Yeah, and also adapted kind of a C-style CLI. So you can supply like verbose flags and like only compile on non-errors and all that kind of stuff. Because like the old CLI of the current one has that option, but we're not like trying to make the user understand that. The user just like compiles Webpack and that's it. And we should set the default for it. It's not verbose. It's quite minimalistic. And then we can say like, okay, if you want to limit your compilation output or your compilation on like throw error on warnings, then they can supply that. Because like right now we have warnings in the middle of a compilation output, and like the user can't see it. They have to scroll up like 50 years up in the history to see where the error is, and that's not good.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, you're working on the refactoring anyway, so
yeah.
That was the warning. I think that was the warning I even had like a couple of weeks ago, which I realized because we set up a new project with Webpack CLI, and then something was there.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I want to go next on the next topic. If you don't have anything else on that side, I mean, I would just say you have the timeline. Once you're done, I would say we should all try to share it. Maybe write some kind of small blog post regarding like what you said, what the new things will be, that it will be able to simplify it, like not simplify. Well, it will be not simplified, but it will be have less feature set. People should try it not now, not on production, just on the development side project, and then giving us feedback early so we can iterate.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just before we go for alpha, like just before that time, can we also release it to internal people and then ask them to test it, this stuff? Just
Yeah,
before
sure.
alpha? Yeah.
I'll have some people. We use Webpack internally at the company I'm working at. So I'm going to show it off to them and let them try it first, and then just like cascade that further on.
Yep. Okay, great. That makes sense. Yep. Okay, the next item is
Makefile generation feature.
Yeah, great. This is a great feature actually, because it allows people to, when they're running Webpack, they usually like just run Webpack and they don't know if the output has changed or not. And most times they're like compiling a dead end compilation. So they have this pull request from the same dude that has created designs for the Webpack UI feature. I can show you that. Let me just share my screen. And it's this pull request. It's work in progress there. And I don't know if you're familiar with the C language, but a makefile basically doesn't compile if there's no changes. And this would, like, if you run Webpack, then it won't compile or like recompile if you don't have files changed. So it's the opposite of the hot module reloading implementation. Or another, it's a nuance of that. It won't compile if you don't have anything changed.
Okay.
So just let's just check in on that guy, see how he's doing, and perhaps just try to help him out finish that pull request. I'll do that after the meeting.
Okay.
great. But just on seeing that, do we also have any plans for Bazel or what's called Bazel-based generation or something?
Could you elaborate on that? Like, this is the first time I heard that.
Bazel is an internal tool from Google for building stuff. So I think Angular is currently they're gonna change it using Bazel for building. So can we also add in something like that?
Could you like submit an issue on that? I know what Basil is, but I think that
I'll open
Sean,
an
yeah.
yeah, sure.
I think that Sean
Okay.
have commented on this. It's something that we want to experiment with.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sure. Let me have a look. I'll create an issue for that. Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah, would be cool. Okay. So for the Makefile, Evan, we will like kind of do some kind of chicken. And yeah, I would say maybe interested ones can just read it. What's next? Then, if there is nothing else, I would just quickly go then to the next one, which is configuration extension feature. I guess it's another PR.
I think that it's PR currently open. Actually, yeah. So could someone check in on how that guy is doing as well? I think it's work in progress for that feature as well.
I will do this. It will be
Great.
good after some weeks to get into some open source mood again.
Cool.
Okay, and then I will just quickly then go to the next one, which is community feedback. What's exactly this about?
Yeah, just like general feedback. See if we have any questions on YouTube if people are watching.
I don't know. Maybe it's Saturday. Currently, no one is watching, and I guess people are watching maybe afterwards, not right now, because it's Saturday after night.
Yeah, sure.
To be honest,
okay.
I'm now realizing it. It's Saturday night. So,
yeah, that's true. So yeah, just a shout out. If you have questions, just reach out to us, and we're happy to oblige.
Yeah, I mean, I will just also from my notes, just taking my own notes. I'll reach out internally again. Because we are using definitely Webpack. Not all of us, but I still know many people using it.
That's true. We had, I think it's 5 million weekly downloads last week.
Yeah.
Or was that Webpack? Well, I think one was 1 million and the other one was at 5 million.
Ooh. Okay.
So I think that we should be careful when launching stuff. That's basically why.
Oh yeah,
why we're
yeah.
doing meetings and everything.
Yeah, because I have to admit there is not much left, right, on that side. I mean, with Garbage grants, it's more like if people are starting with new projects, normally they don't use Garbage grant anymore. They just check out for Webpack for doing stuff.
Yeah, but I think that Gulp is pretty good on generating style sheets compared to Webpack, because Webpack would only, like, if you want to set up a server or a web page, sometimes you just want that app.css, the global app, to make sure that it's working, and then abstract that later. That's what Gulp is good for.
Yeah, I mean, it's still fine. I really don't want to bash someone here. It's more like people somehow, like from the developer perspective, they kind of start immediately with Webpack these days also.
Yeah, and Gulp is good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Then the sixth is global local scope status.
Yeah, so this is the issue where, like, users were having problems when trying to install a global dependency of Webpack and the CLI, and they try to compile using like a universal that. So say if you have a global Webpack dependency and you would try to compile with a local CLI installation, that will fail. That's the issue, and I think that will be resolved after the refactoring is done.
Yeah, but I would just make a note.
I think it's like 30 to 40 people that has like said that they had the same issue. So it's pretty high prioritized.
Yeah, I mean, but that could be something interesting. Like once refactoring is done, sharing with these people also the refactoring, and this could be like an interesting use case. Are we fixing it? Is the refactoring fixing maybe this issue? And then this would be like an interesting edge case just to see maybe it's really solved. Cool. Another selling point for the refactoring.
Yeah, and also I think that like this CLI is using EEFE function, like the entry point is an immediate invoking function, which is anonymous to do the CLI in order to get arguments for the compiler in the right scope. And while that is good for performance, it's bad for like this case.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it's going to be fixed because we're not going to invoke the function immediately on the new CLI. We're bootstrapping it basically.
Okay. Good. Now 7, which is about security issues.
Yeah, I think that Andrew did fix that, didn't he?
He's fixing it currently, or he fixed it already?
Well, we had some security issues regarding outdated dependencies, and like this week or last week, we had the event stream issue. I think I see people that they're posting stuff which doesn't make sense for a Webpack situation. Like we don't have event stream in any of our dependencies, but people are still posting it.
Oh well, people are talking about the event stream issue also. A lot of different reasons than really about event streams.
Yeah, I think that Emmanuel proposed that we're going to lock our version dependencies, but I might say that, like, on the contrary, it's not needed because in general these issues doesn't happen. It's just like 1 in 10 of situations. We have already a security monitoring service.
Yeah. And on top, normally I would just, I mean, if you're frequently even using npm audit and npm is doing a lot these the whole 2018 for security, buying companies, adding all this stuff. I think sooner than later, all these issues will just easily be fixed. You just run npm audits, and it will immediately tell you that there is some issue.
True. So let's just jump on that.
Okay. Maybe I would just ping.
Ask Emmanuel if he really wants the lock thing. I don't know if it's needed, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The next one is Windows CI. If there is no other security issue.
Yeah, on Windows we don't have a continuous integration service. We have Travis and Azure, but it doesn't do Windows, so we have to add that. So submit an issue on that.
Okay.
Can you use Azure for the Windows CI?
What was that?
Okay, we can use Azure, right? Azure also supports Windows CI, right?
Yeah, but we haven't enabled it. I think, at least that was people are telling me that Windows is not tested.
Okay.
Okay. Should this be do we have a GitHub issue? People can work on it.
We need to put it up.
Okay. Can anyone maybe just create some issue?
Yeah, you can assign this to me. I'll try to work on it. If not, create an issue. Yeah.
Google Chrome, the Lighthouse team has recently added Windows to Travis, so just check that out. The Travis configuration as well.
Okay.
Was it Lighthouse?
Yep, that's what he said.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Then the next one is moving tests to TypeScript. I saw this big pull request. I thought it's wasn't it merged?
I think they're merging branches that are working on the migration stuff into the main branch, which is a pull request. But yeah, they have a checklist on that. Yes, I wanted to ask Emmanuel how he's doing on that, but I think it's okay. It's doing progress.
Yeah, I also saw. I saw a lot of emails over the last weeks. I just tried to keep. Yeah, just somehow someone put me on an ad, and then it's super funny because then GitHub immediately starts sending all the emails for each comment.
Yeah. So if they're doing a work in progress commit, you see that as well.
Yeah, but it's cool. I just saw that there is a lot of going on, and I saw a couple of merges, but it's good that they're on progress. Cool. Yeah, documentation work. The next one, which I started with just updating the README, and then I wanted to update the Webpack documentation, and I just got stuck with work, real life work. Yeah. The thing is, once you are refactoring stuff, this might also affect documentation, right? Because some things will change, and maybe we should. Anyway, what's the agenda topic? Maybe I just ask first before I go into documentation. Maybe Evan.
All right, so can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So regarding the documentation work, I was wondering if you when you have the time this Christmas, could you try to work on that? Especially you don't have to work on the CLI flags documentation because those are going to be removed. But perhaps on scaffolds, I'm going to try after finishing up the refactoring stuff to do guides, tutorials, everything on scaffolds. It's pretty important that we have documentation on scaffolds before UI launches, so people can refer themselves to when they want to create their own scaffolds for Webpack UI.
I can do this. I can take this with me and go into that topic. Before I will also do some kind of deadline.
But if you need any help on that, I can also join hands too.
That would be great.
Yeah. Just a second. Just maybe continue on number 12, programmatic scaffold interface. I just
yeah. So I think I have issue on that. I think I wrote it after looking at this. Just hold on. I might not have the. Oh yeah. So I've already added that to our issue tracker, so it's good. It's just that you have to make sure that if you program a Webpack scaffold, you should be able to run it without actually being prompted for questions, just by setting defaults.
Sorry. So there's one thing I have to be honest. I have to be offline soon again.
Yeah, let's just run through these. These are just like super nice. They're quick and it's just checklist items.
Yeah. I can take this one. So I can take this one. Yeah.
12. So the next one is the deprecation.
Oh yeah. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I have an issue on that. I can link you it later.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I can link you in the chat right now. But let's move on so we get finished today.
Yeah, let's try that. So number 13 is deprecation and replacement of features.
I think this is right.
Yeah, this is finished or resolved regarding the refactoring stuff.
Yeah. So number 14 is smoke tests.
Yeah, this is where you go outside and smoke. This is work. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah, so we have to have smoke tests, just run end-to-end tests a lot of times in a Docker container to see that we're not like just casually breaking Webpack builds. I don't think it's an issue upon Webpack CLI. So we have to put an issue up.
Yeah, should I put it now for like some kind of optional? So for the next meeting?
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
do
think,
that.
I would say like maybe early 2019, maybe January 2019. Okay,
this
then
goes
we have
under end-to-end as well.
Yeah, I would.
This is already an issue, but yeah, end-to-end would integrate smoke tests, so run end-to-end a lot of times in the Docker container.
And then we have MJS support, which I guess is the module JavaScript topic.
Yeah, and I have this in an issue. I don't know if it's going to be included in the initial Webpack CLI, the new one, but we have to like.
I will take this one. Even like I think since I'm currently working something related to this with the known modules team, so I can take the stuff.
Okay, great. Could you submit to the branch I have?
Sure. Yeah. Just share it with me. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Issue tracker. 17.
Yeah, the issue tracker tracks stuff.
Yeah, I know. You have to elaborate a bit. Is it more like we have no one, you want the issue tracker, or just mention people like, hey, we have an issue tracker?
True. Yeah, but that's basically just going through the issue tracker, but we don't have time for that. We just pick up issues when we want.
Oh, let me do this as an optional. Roadmap. Yeah.
Let's take this early, like near Christmas times when we're having a meeting on the release of the new CLI. Let's discuss roadmap then.
Yeah, I would say like maybe something like, I don't know, 2019, beginning 2019, where we can discuss next topics, also general roadmap. especially like you said, once refactoring is done.
Yeah, and this is good for the UI timeline
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
And then release cycle.
This should probably just be discussed now, but yeah. I think that we should have Emmanuel here as well, just discussing that. But let's just make sure that we are releasing an alpha and beta and releasing like posts about the new CLI when we're doing that.
Yeah, so this is what I have in my mind. So probably a pre-post, like a post that you say that you're going to do this stuff, and then an alpha 2 days after or sometime after, and then a beta, and then a post plus the release.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, put that in the note in the meeting.
Okay, I'll add that.
Oh yeah, please do it.
I'll
Because
do
I
it.
already. Okay. So then we are done, except more questions.
Yeah, I have a question. How are you doing? Like, yeah, everything's good?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I am in this weird position that I got a baby. Baby was fine. And then after summer, he kind of decided to not sleep. So that was super funny. Still
so
funny.
a baby.
Yeah. But I mean, the last 6 weeks, it's just intense from work. That's why I was completely out. I had to because I was so much focused on work stuff and even open source tools at Zalando, some other stuff, some bugs fixes, super ugly. That, yeah. But now, slowly, it's normalizing again. So I also talk with people and say, like, I'm going back to open source a bit, which I hopefully will start this week, beginning this week, slowly again, catching up topics. Yeah. And then hopefully, let's see.
Yeah,
we can
that's
continue
nice.
on that topic. Because my idea would be really to also help with the Webpack UI, especially with the visual part. I think I can do that a bit more, and I will ping a UX person. Let's see.
Yeah, that sounds good. And yeah, I completely understand regarding work because yeah, I'm in the middle of a project right now as well, and you have a lot of things to do, and you have to focus on the actual work. So yeah.
Yeah. How are you? I mean, you too.
Yeah, I'm UI. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw also a tweet that you're doing like what? You want to write a book or something? Or
Yeah. Cool.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm in the process of writing a book, hopefully with Adios money from Google, regarding web performance. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be great. So we have like this super heavy course next year called operating systems. But yeah, hopefully that goes well.
Cool. Okay. So if no one else has something to ask or share, then I would say we are fine for today.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice speaking to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think we should, like, after the refactoring is done, we should really try to have like a regular one, maybe once a month at least.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Also, just sorry.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so I'm going to start inviting some members into the CLI teams near Christmas that has contributed a lot to Webpack CLI. And let's just welcome them on the next meeting. Why do you think, like, what do you think, not why, what do you think about that?
I mean, I'm totally in for it. Cool. There are some people doing a lot of things which I'm not doing, so why shouldn't be they here? So I'm definitely up for opening our kind of the core, just having more people discussing topics.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, speak to you later this month then on the next meeting. Let's open a Twiddle on Slack and arrange the next meeting.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
I will
Yeah.
do it.
Have a nice Saturday, guys.
Yeah. Have a nice weekend, both of you.
Yeah, you as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.
Yeah, guys. Bye.